Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're going to talk about Disneyland. Now, we've been talking about Disneyland off and on for the last couple weeks because Galaxies Edge, Star Wars Galaxies Edge, landed with kind of a thud. It did not bring in the people that Disneyland expected it to. In fact, it actually seemed to chase people away. For a variety of reasons, we could go into the hows and the whys, but Disneyland has actually been very, very lightly packed. This summer, it's very unusual, not what Disney expected at all, and Galaxy's Edge is being called a flop and a ghost town by mainstream media outlets. So here's another little bit of bad news for Disneyland. It didn't rank very high in the world's top 25 amusement parks. So we're going to talk about that on this episode, and if you haven't subscribed already, guys, please do that. It helps the channel immensely. June and July have been very, very good for us, and we want to keep bringing you guys content. We really appreciate the support. So please sub if you can. Okay, from Arizona Central, TripAdvisor names world's top 25 amusement parks. Disneyland is where? Now, when I first read this, I thought, oh my God, Disneyland didn't even make the top 25. That's really, really bad. They do, but they're buried in the middle. And it used to be that Disneyland was sort of toward the top, if I remember correctly. Disneyland used to always be, at least in recent years, sort of Disney's flagship park. It usually, if I remember correctly, now I'm not 100% sure, but if I remember correctly, a lot of people preferred Disneyland to Magic Kingdom, citing it was cleaner. They had some of the classic attractions. It just felt like a homier park than Magic Kingdom, which is, you know, much, much bigger and more crowded, etc., etc. But yeah, Disneyland is in the middle. So this is not good news for Disneyland. So Disneyland may be number one in many people's hearts, but it doesn't even rank in the top 10 of the world's best amusement parks, according to TripAdvisor. In fact, Disneyland isn't even number one in California. That ranking went to Universal Studios Hollywood, and the travel website's just released 2019 Traveler's Choice list of top 25 amusement parks in the world. So Disneyland, which basically invented theme parks, lost out to Universal Studios in California. That's shocking. The top spot for the 5th year in a row went to Universal's Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. I did know that. Islands of Adventure is knocking it out of the park. And its sister park, Universal Studios Florida, came in third. So Universal is actually beating Disney overall. In between the two, serving as a filling in a Universal sandwich, was Magic Kingdom at Disney World. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Disney parks, Magic Kingdom is basically a bigger version of Disneyland. They have a lot of the same attractions. It was based off of Disneyland. A lot of people mix the two up, but they are actually different parks. Magic Kingdom being in Florida, Disneyland being in California. So with our Disneyland, you need to go to number 12, right in the middle, where it trails Disneyland Paris, is just ahead of Dollywood. Well, there we go, guys. Disneyland is better than Dollywood. It's better than Dollywood, but Disneyland Paris is better than Disneyland Park in Anaheim. Disneyland Paris used to be very dirty, so I'm surprised. Last year, Disneyland placed 13th on the list, which is determined by an algorithm based on quantity and quality of reviews, as well as members' ratings, according to TripAdvisor. Now, I will say that, you know, we don't get out to Disneyland a whole lot. I've been there twice in 3 years, I think, but people have said that the cleanliness of the park has gone down, that they're short-staffed compared to how they used to be, and that was before Star Wars. I haven't been to Disneyland since Star Wars opened. So, you know, Disneyland used to be immaculate. It used to be it used to actually be the best Disney park in the US, in my opinion, but obviously not TripAdvisor. It's definitely dropped. The force wasn't yet with Disney. The addition of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge likely had no bearing on the ratings since the 14-acre land didn't open until May 31st. Galaxy's Edge also opens August 29th in Disney World, which was ranked 15. Hollywood Studios was ranked 15th. California Adventure was 18, dropping 3 spots from last year. That's bad. Florida dominated the list, placing 7 parks in the top 25, with Orlando nabbing the top 4 spots. Animal Kingdom is actually number 4. Other Floridian parks were SeaWorld, Orlando, and Fun Spot. America. 8 European parks landed in the top 25, with national honors going to France with 3 destinations, including Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney Studios Park, number 20, which would be their version kind of Hollywood Studios. So here's how it ranked. I mean, all the way in the middle here, Disneyland. So Universal, we have Universal Island of Adventure, Magic Kingdom, Universal Studios Florida, Disney's Animal Kingdom, Le Puy de Fou in France, beat out Universal Studios Hollywood in LA, Tivoli Gardens in Denmark, Europa Park in Germany, the Island in Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. So the Island in Pigeon Forge beat out Disneyland. SeaWorld Orlando beat Disneyland. Disneyland Paris beat Disneyland. But Disneyland did beat Dollywood and Leolandia in Italy. And they beat out Hollywood Studios, which is true. Hollywood Studios is just a construction site right now, so that doesn't surprise me. Silver Dollar City, I've heard good things about. I've never been there. And a lot of other parks. Yeah, and actually at the bottom of the list is Universal Studios Japan, which I've always wanted to go to because they have a lot of anime-based attractions. But this is pretty bad for Disneyland to be in the middle of this, to be beaten by SeaWorld and by a park in Tennessee and Denmark. Like, that's not a good look, Disneyland. You're supposed to be the best. So we did report on this the other day that the numbers for the Galaxies Edge Millennium Falcon ride are not that great. And now a lot of other people are picking this up now. That even though they're boasting about 1 million riders being pushed through, it was only operating at like 75 or 76% capacity. So it wasn't even full sometimes when they ran it. And pretty much every other major attraction in Disneyland put more people through in that 6-week period. So here we have Deseret News. Disneyland's most popular ride isn't a part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It actually was Small World. Small World with 57,000 people. Smugglers Run's at the bottom of this list of 6. So Small World, Pirates, Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, and Indiana Jones all have more people ride than Smugglers Run. And people are saying that the wait times are short. They're under an hour for Smugglers Run. Some people said 35 minutes. I remember last year when we went to Disneyland, we waited an hour and a half to ride Small World, and that was the end of June. So this is coming from Cinema Blend. Again, it's getting out. It's getting out. This isn't just YouTube bitching about it. This isn't just like anti-Disney or anti-Star Wars people bitching about Galaxy's Edge. It's hitting all of these news outlets. So over the weekend, and this was just like an hour ago, over the weekend, Galaxy's Edge, Smugglers Run welcomed its 1 millionth rider. That's a big number given the ride just opened in Disneyland a few short months ago. But as it turns out, Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run is not the most popular ride in the parks. In fact, the ride that sees the most traffic every day at Disneyland is actually It's a Small World. It sees 57,000 people hop on and off every single day, according to info provided by Touring Plans, which they tend to be pretty accurate. They've been doing this for a long time. That's Len Testa's site. He's pretty accurate. Pirates of the Caribbean, another high-capacity ride, sees about 55,000 people hop on every day. In comparison, Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run only averaged 27,000 riders. So what's most intriguing, and we pointed this out in the video, maybe they watched our video, maybe that's what's going on here. What's most intriguing about the numbers, however, is that apparently Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run is actually not hitting its max number of riders per day. Supposedly, the ride has the capacity to achieve 1,800 riders every hour, and the ride has only achieved 76% of the attraction's ride capacity so far. It's unclear, however, if that percentage is taking into account other factors. There are outside influences that could affect the numbers, including downtime, longer than expected load times, etc., etc. We're hearing under an hour wait time for an attraction that doesn't have a high capacity in a land that just opened based on one of the most popular film franchises of all time. That's not a good look. There should be like a 4 or 5 hour line. Hagrid, the Hagrid coaster in Orlando, has a 10-hour wait for just a basic roller coaster with some Harry Potter animatronics, and they can't fill Smugglers Run. Disneyland officials have mentioned the staff has done an incredible job of keeping things moving, but given the newness of the ride and the popularity of Star Wars, it's still a little surprising fewer people have gotten on Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run each day than one might guess, even if the reasoning makes sense. So then they try to put a positive spin on it, that if it keeps going, it will be one of the most popular rides. And of course, the real positive spin in the meantime, right now is a great time to go to Disneyland. Has lighter than expected crowds. Lighter than expected crowds not riding the one ride that's open. You know, look, it boils down to the fact that Star Wars is not the draw that Disney thinks it is. I mean, this is the same problem they have with Star Wars toys not selling. The same reason why Solo bombed. The same reason why there's a distinct lack of buzz about the Rise of Skywalker. People just don't care about Star Wars anymore. Not like they used to. It's just become another movie franchise. Disney has force choked it. You know, they've definitely alienated a large portion of the old fans who would have been there in a heartbeat, and they overestimate how popular Star Wars is. It's not the golden goose they thought it was. They didn't buy a pig in a poke. They just haven't been able to do Star Wars right yet. And I don't know if they ever will, because they keep looking at Star Wars like it's Marvel and they can just make endless movies of varying quality and people are going to come see it. And that's not going to be the case. It's not going to be the case. So people are not excited enough about Star Wars to pay full price to go to Disneyland, to make a trip to Disneyland just to see, this Falcon ride. They don't care. And Disney can't get this through their head. I don't understand why this is so hard for them. Like, why is it so hard for you to take a good hard look at Star Wars and realize that the franchise has been damaged? That The Last Jedi did so much more damage to this franchise than you guys realize. That you can't sell toys. That nobody wants the Star Wars junk. There's too much of it, and it's of varying degrees of quality. That people aren't going to pack the theme parks to ride Star Wars like they want to ride Harry Potter. Harry Potter, which hasn't even really been a thing for 10 years. I mean, they put the Fantastic Beasts movies out, and they did so-so, but people still love the original Harry Potter movies. Same with Star Wars. You build a land based on the sequel trilogy when it should have been based on the original trilogy. I think if you had based on the original trilogy, this would be a different story. But yeah, people want to see Darth Vader walking around. You know, they're not going to get that here. And, it's definitely not a good look. But yeah, on top of all the other problems Disneyland has, they didn't even make it into the top 10. They didn't even make it into the top 10. Pigeon Forge and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee beat Disneyland. So how about that? So we'll keep an eye on the situation with Disney and Star Wars here on Clownfish TV. It is something that we talk about often, in addition to animation and other pop culture. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already. This has been Neon. I will talk to you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.